Bleeps Planet.
What's up, people? And you know this is what I don't like about Dan. I just hit the live button on my side, salute to my people, and you know we're tuned in to Lieutenant Dan's channel as well, Unintentional Grounding. Go over there and check him out. That's what I don't like about Dan. I'm a content creator at heart. You know what I'm saying? Like Dan likes football. Like Dan's my guy. But I hate wasting good content and good conversation. Right? But Dan's legit my friend. So he wants to talk all this shit with me. And we're talking about stuff and I'm like, Dan, the people need to hear this. He's like, all right, cool. Let's go live. But did you hear about the thing and the thing? And I'm like, Dan, yes, hold on. The people need to hear this. We're creating content. Then you're like, all right, cool. So I watched the East and West Shrine game. Boy, those quarterbacks. Like that. Boy, those quarterbacks are trying. So we're doing this live for y'all, so we can talk some draft, so we can get some of our thoughts and opinions out in the air. Lieutenant Dan, you know, he's doing his research as well. He's my right hand man. I trust him in that way. We're gonna talk some draft, man. We got Senior Bowl stuff to look at. If Dan has a recap of any Shrine Bowl standouts, he can attempt a lot of y'all faces. And I pulled up the 2019 draft order so we can try to potentially attempt to put names and places. Not like a mock draft. That's different. That's a 3-hour show. We're not here for that. But we can put some.
That's something a little bit later that both of us will throw out an attempt and then get smashed over the side of the head by people that say that they don't want that shit.
Absolutely. We're not doing a mock draft today, but we do want to talk about potential fits kind of sort of with a few teams, not all 32, but we also want to take a look at what the Draft Illuminati is pushing. It's always a good time to attack the Draft Illuminati and just kind of address some of that stuff. But let me put that in my title. Let me go. Dun dun. Attack. Draft. Illuminati. All right, cool. Dan, you watched the East and West Shrine game. I ignored it purposely.
Here I'll do you one better. I watched like half of it, and then I took notes, and then I went and played some Kingdom Hearts because the new Kingdom Hearts is coming out, and that shit looks straight fire. So I did what I could. Then people that were at the game actually sent me some notes. So I was like, all right, well, let me study this. Go look at some tape of some of these guys. Okay. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, when me and Dan was basically talking about before, you know, because we'd rather be talking about this online. The Shrine game is like a day 3 All-Star game to me. You know what I mean? It's like who's gonna be like the best 5th and 6th round guys? Who's gonna be the best short receiver? Who's gonna be the best corner that can cover with a bad 40 time? Obscure State's gonna represent.
Gonna push their and elevate their draft stock to maybe they were a 6th round guy, maybe now they're a 4th round guy.
Sure.
It's to push that kind of stuff up.
Sure. Shrine game really don't hold weight with me. That's why I didn't watch it. People ask, yo, Voch, what do you think about the Shrine game? I don't know. Whatever.
Hey, Voch, what do you think about this guy from Obscure State University named Timmy the Toothless?
I don't know about Obscure State's Timmy. I'll tell you this, though. Jeffrey Kafelkafish going to be at the Senior Bowl, goddamn. Oh, we got some Obscure State at the. We got some Old Dominion at the Senior Bowl. Oh boy,
I saw James Madison at the East West Shrine game. I was like, who this?
Oh boy, we got some Georgia State up in there. We got Delaware representing UMass. Oh boy, we got a lot of guys in the Senior Bowl from Obscure State. But we'll touch on that and cross that road whenever we get there. Touching on Lieutenant Dan and what he was talking about though, pre-show. What I like about the Senior Bowl this time around, is every quarterback that we quasi have an idea about, they're gonna be playing in the Senior Bowl. Not Haskins and not Murray. Okay, but everybody else but them, they're gonna be there. So Daniel Jones from Duke, Will Greer, West Virginia, Drew Lock, Missouri, Jared Stidham, Auburn, Ryan Finley, North Carolina State, Tyree Jackson, Buffalo, Gardner Minshew, Washington State, and Trace McSorley, Penn State. Everybody is gonna be competing there, and I think in a quarterback class with a lot to be desired, I think a lot of guys can make a little bit of money just being at the Senior Bowl, being seen or whatnot.
It's going to be a test for the current draft class of QBs in a nutshell. Mm-hmm. It's going to be tough for these guys because it's a lot of unknowns. And worse than in some of the years where we had guys that had unknowns, but they were top guys, Sure. They were like one or two top guys, and then there were a bunch of guys with unknowns, but great potential.
Sure.
I just see a lot of guys with great potential, but they're just incredible Pokemon unknowns. Like, you're searching for a quarterback, you don't know what you're getting.
I'll say this. Every year we always got a handful of guys that we watch, but we end up finding a bunch of guys, that we find in passing, or whatever. Like last year, we're like, okay, Will Hernandez, Marcus Davenport, those are the big guys, and I keep saying Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen. These are the guys that we're gonna look at, but we end up discovering, damn, Isaiah Wynn can play. Damn, these red helmet gangsters over there, those guys are pretty good. You know what I mean? Like Michael Gallup, like we find guys in the
LBE. Like even though he was being touted as a third or second rounder guy, he was able to elevate his draft status and move into the first round, and the Cowboys went and took him. I mean, it's guys like Isaiah Oliver. Isn't that strange?
Absolutely.
Supposed to be a first-round guy, falls into the second round. So this is that time of year. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, guys and gals on Voch's show, peeps and the grounders here on Unintentional Grounding, we started today. Today's the start.
Yeah.
Today, you saw some Voch videos come out. You saw some Lieutenant Dan videos, maybe here or there. No, today's the day. It starts now. Draft talk starts now. The discussion begins today. The East-West Shrine game is over, and it's time to get hype and time to be ready for some serious discussion on these things, these topics.
So we clearly have a lot of QBs in this thing, but Voch is in it for the trench guys or whatever. And I think the O-line, D-line matches are going to be goddamn ridiculous this year. Just a few names real fast. Andre Dillard from Washington State. Boy, can that dude play. Boy, can that dude play. And I ain't even know this. I was watching Gardner Minshew, just kind of figure out who he is. But Andre Dillard's going to be there. He's going to be nasty. Guys like Tyus Howard. In case y'all didn't know, let me just come out and say this. The best offensive lines this year are going to be drafted by the batch. You know what I mean? Bama got a few guys getting drafted. Ohio State got a few guys. Wisconsin and Oklahoma. Like, those four schools got the big O-line bunches coming out. You know what I mean? So whether we're looking at a guy like let's see, Michael Dieter from Wisconsin. You know what I mean? Played tackle, guard, and center. Whether it be now this guy got a long name from Alabama, Ross Pierschbacher. Now look, Dan's here so I can be racist, but boy.
Don't be talking bad about these kids from the middle of Kansas throwing hay barrels around. Don't be hating.
It don't get no whiter than Ross Pierschbacher. It don't get no whiter than Ross Pierschbacher. But yes, he'll be there. He'll be there representing Alabama. Here's another one. You ready for this? From Wisconsin, Bo Ben-Schwowel. Google that shit. B-E-A-U Ben Schwowel. That's that.
Yeah, Schwal.
Ben Schwal.
Schwal. Yeah.
Ben Schwal. That's as white as it gets. So, but it's going to be a lot of O-line guys there. Max Sharping, Northern Illinois. It's normally like a D-line highlight tape thing at the at the Senior Bowl. But I think we got some pretty nasty O-line talent here. Elgin Jenkins, center from Mississippi State. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching a little bit of him. He's solid. But Coach Evans guy, we talking about defense now. Coach Evans got Gerald Willis from Miami, Isaiah Buggs, the third Alabama defensive tackle that can play. He's gonna be at the Senior Bowl representing. Montez Sweat, we got a lot of questions about him. He's a long guy, measurable guy. Can he play? Can he disengage? Can he pass rush on his own without scheme? We're gonna check him out. Jalen Ferguson, feel like he's been in the process for years, but Jalen Ferguson from La Tech, I just dropped a film session on him about 20 minutes ago. We get to see him play. Obscure States, O'Shane Zimenez, Old Dominion. Boy, I didn't know they played football at Old Dominion, but he's going to be there. I think he can play, and he can use a lot of this exposure too. And guys like Zach Allen from Boston College. So I'm excited, man.
Oh, that's my boy.
You like Zach
there.
Allen?
That's my child.
I haven't watched him.
That's my child.
I haven't watched him, but I know he's going to be there. So I'm excited about the Senior Bowl, man. In case y'all ain't hip about how I do things here, I cut on the NFL Network and I steal it. So when they do the O-line, D-line drills or whatever, I'm there. I got you. If they got wide receiver DB one-on-one drills, I'll be doing that as well. Plus, I'll probably steal the whole Senior Bowl game, put that up for you, but whatever. Daniel, thoughts?
A couple of things that I wanted to go throw out and start some smoke. Mm-hmm. Okay. Just wanted to get some smoke real quick. Jonah Williams is not the best tackle in this class.
Talk about
by
it.
Far.
Talk about it.
By far. And maybe this is a little bit of a bias as well. But I'll also talk bad about Cleland Ferrell and the tape that I watched about him as well. There's a lot of complaints that I had about his play. Okay. But when Cleland Ferrell can get you 50% of the time against you in a national championship game at the highest level of collegiate play, and he gets you 50% of the time, that's not good.
You know what, Lieutenant Dan? Let's do that. You've been looking for a joint film session. I have the all 22 of Alabama versus Clemson because of my patrons. Salute to my patrons. Let's do Jonah Williams versus Cleland Ferrell. Let's do that.
Yep.
Not today, but we'll do it later.
Number 2. Yeah. Wait. That's not today. Not today. That takes effort. That requires things to do.
I'm tired.
I got other things to do.
I'm tired.
Brian Burns. Everybody's lighting up about Brian Burns. That's the draft Illuminati's out here just figuring out.
Damn.
They're just figuring out.
I got a story about Brian Burns.
Oh boy, here we go.
Are you a fan of Brian Burns? First of all,
no.
Dan, I'm in my Facebook group, Lombardi's Draft Talk. One of my faithfuls in there, Antoine Chiambo. You know Antoine. I respect his acumen. He said, yo, Voch, what you think about Brian Burns? And with that post came a lot of hype behind Brian Burns. We're talking about Brian Burns, edge guy from Florida State. And I'm watching Brian Burns, and I'm going, man, boy, Virginia Tech kicking his ass. And then I moved on. I was like, man, Alabama and them kind of whipping his ass. So I went back to the post. I said, hey, man, can y'all drop a game that got you hype about Brian Burns? And nobody could drop up a game in particular in which they were high about Brian Burns. Brian Burns can't get off blocks. Brian Burns runs down the middle of people. Brian Burns disappears in the run game. Where now the optimism is that he's 6'5", long as hell, 250, and can run. And has
235, sir.
Hey, man.
235. FSU roster on the Knowles.com. That's their official roster. He's listed at 235 pounds. Don't bullshit me. That man is soft.
Hey, man,
I'm
look.
Get heated. I'm not feeling so well, Voch. I'm not feeling so well because I'm having something like head cold thing going on right now. I'm about to get heated.
The
Don't
combine.
you dare tell me Brian Burns is a first rounder. Don't you dare try to put that and flaunt that in my face. He's a speed rush, one-trick pony specialist that should be a third round at best.
Dan,
at best.
Dan, listen. First of all, the combine hasn't happened yet. So I don't know how the hell Big is. Combine nerds help me out. But what they see is that 6'5" frame, 200 and mad pounds, however big he is. My bad, Dan. But they see that occasional burst from him, that occasional bend from him. It's just not consistent enough for me. That's all I'm saying.
It reminds me of a worse, and this is a shot at my Falcons fans. So Falcons fans in my chat, get ready to shoot me down. But it reminds me of a worse version of Vic Beasley. That's not positive. That's not a positive thing.
It's not.
Vic Beasley has no counters. He relies too much on speed rush.
Sure.
Brian Burns does exactly the same exact thing, and it bothers me because I really did like Brian Burns initially before I watched everybody else. Brian Burns was one of the first one or two guys that I watched because the hype was so high on him. I mean, you just told a story. The hype was so high that somebody was like, yeah, Brian Burns. You heard about it. You want to go check him out? Nothing. It's barren.
Yo, Dan, you want to get pissed off real fast and go on a rant?
Do it.
So, Lieutenant Dan, you're a Clemson fan, right?
Sir?
Clemson super fan, I would say. Like, you don't fuck with Alabama at all. Like, but you're a Clemson fan though. Cody Lashney, right? He's a guy in my chat box. And I normally don't see him in the chat box until I start saying Clemson stuff. And there's a faction of people that think I'm an Alabama fan because I hate Clemson players. But I think it's fair that all the Clemson pros that have come out in the last 2 to 3 years have fair criticisms. Mitch Hyatt, whatever. Cody Lashney. Here's his comment. Dan, you ready?
Yeah.
Cody Lashney is also a Clemson fan, I'm assuming, because he gets on to me about getting on to Clemson players or criticizing them or whatever. Cody Lashney says, there y'all go trying to devalue Cleland Ferrell again. That's 1 strike. Jonah Williams is the best tackler in this class. That's 2 strikes. But he got beat by a better defensive end. Why you just can't say that? The only knock y'all have against him is that his bend. The only thing y'all only knock y'all have against him is his bend. Everything else about him is elite. That's kind of 3 strikes right there. And then we move on to say, and then he thanks somebody else in the chat box that kind of had a similar sentiments as him. But then he goes on to thank them and says, but Voch and Lieutenant Dan go out of their way to make people believe Cleland Ferrell isn't even a first-round prospect. Boy, that's 4 strikes. Boy, get his ass, Dan. Kick his ass, Dan. Go ahead, Dan.
Cody, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. As also a Clemson fan, I'm guessing that you're a Clemson fan. Cody.
Kick his ass, Dan.
First of all, be happy with your 2 national championships. All right, sit down.
Kick his ass.
We're both really happy with our national championships. Why don't you sit down, stop drinking the Kool-Aid for just a second, and be happy about your national championships. You got it. We were able to dominate and do what we needed to do. Okay. Second of all, I didn't say anything about Cleland Ferrell not being a first rounder, Cody.
Likewise.
What's this? We go out of our way to make sure that that we can devalue him and that he's not a first round. What?
They don't pay me.
Oh, are you? What? I cordially invite you to come down to Orlando, Florida, and watch film with me, Cody. You're more than welcome.
Lieutenant Dan, watch this. I dropped the Cleland Ferrell film session. He goes on the film session. Okay, Voch, I see what you're saying, but you ain't got
no yeah buts. No, yeah, but.
Oh.
It's like vultures. It's like vultures around a carcass. Yeah, but. No. I don't need to hear that. No. I'm going to be. Calm down. Calm. Relax.
You good.
Relax.
But kick his ass.
Cleland Ferrell and his tape has shown nothing to me outside of him being a bigger Vic Beasley. Okay? His football IQ is so from the tape that I've watched. How do you determine football IQ? Where are his eyes? Where are his counter moves? What kind of moves does he use against certain tackles?
Finding the football.
Certain guards.
Sure.
Football IQ is important with a defensive end. Can he snuff out a screen? Can he go out there and get his long arms up there to knock some passes down?
But Dan,
IQ is so.
But Dan, can I pause you midway then let you finish? Are you saying Cleland Ferrell is trash? No. You're not saying he's trash, but you have your criticisms. Go ahead and finish.
I have my criticisms of Cleland Ferrell because I've watched too many Clemson defensive linemen come out, and I'm not saying there's the stigmatism or that there should be an asterisk on every Clemson defensive player. Look at Grady Jarrett and already know that if the right coach, the right system, and the right drive is in a player, they will become something special. I look at this sack, I'll say, a sack of defensive ends from Clemson, and I'll go, they teach them to be speed rushers first.
Sure. They
teach them to get to the quarterback first, sure. And then everything else is something that they have to build upon and learn on their own. I'm not saying Dabo Swinney's not a good coach. I'm not saying Brent Venables doesn't know what he's doing, but I'm telling you right now, look at Cleland Ferrell, then go watch Vic Beasley tape, and you'll go, thinking emoji. That looks really similar.
So when we say that these guys can be better with their hands, Cleland doesn't use his hands well. Christian doesn't really use his hands well. Dexter don't use his hands well. Austin don't use his hands well. But they whoop ass upfield in a hurry.
They're all about speed and power and about the bull rush, the speed rush. The bend is not incredible with Cleland Ferrell. Okay, fine, Cody. You got me. One of my biggest factors about Cleland Ferrell is his bend. His bend is atrocious. It looks like he's arcing from McDonald's. When you go to McDonald's, you look at the golden arches up there. You see them. You see how they go all the way up and then all the way back down. That's Cleland Ferrell and Austin Bryant to me. They need to work on that. That's not something that they can't work on.
But
that's
Dan,
something that they're going to have to work on.
But Dan, wait a minute.
In the NFL.
But wait a minute, Dan. Are you saying Cleland Ferrell's trash?
No.
Because somebody
I think that Cleland Ferrell has several moves in his arsenal that make him effective. I think that Cleland Ferrell's long arms has allowed him to bat a bunch of passes down, sure. And even pressure the quarterback, which sometimes is more important than getting a sack.
Sure.
Cleland Ferrell causes the pocket to collapse, which is more important than actually getting the sack. You can cause an interception that way or a fumble. You could cause another player to get that sack by causing pressure and collapsing that pocket. That's important. And that's why Cleland Ferrell is going to be a top 10 pick or a top 15 pick or a top 20 pick.
Sure.
Because he has that identity. He has that stereotype to him.
And you know what?
That ability.
And you know what, Dan? I'll go as far as to say I think Cleland's going to be a good player in the National Football League. But for these hoes out here saying he's a top 5 pick, stop it.
I can't justify him being a top 5 pick. I can justify him being a top 10 pick. I would say you get amazing value if he dropped any further than that, say top 15 or top 20.
Sure.
Cleland Ferrell is a special specimen.
Sure.
But I'm not going to praise him just based on the fact that this defensive end class is.
Oh, Cody says he rarely gets caught up on blocks. I'm leaving. Next topic. I'm leaving.
Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy, but he gets pushed out of the play so many times.
I'm leaving.
If you look at all his snaps, it's maybe 3 times, 4 times in a game that he actually gets to the quarterback or causes that pressure. But again, that's something that teams are going to look at and they're going to go, we can mold this, and he'll get constant pressure all the time. Cleland Ferrell's going to be a good defensive end in the league if the right team can use him and teach him how to properly use his bend. Because he's got strength. He's got a lot of strength in him, but he ain't Josh Allen. Josh Allen's a fucking freak.
Josh Allen different.
Josh Allen's
different. Josh Allen
different. He's a different breed.
And he can bend.
That's Pitbull right there.
And he can bend.
If Ferrell is a golden retriever, Josh Allen is a Pitbull.
I don't know. That's just my opinion. If I had to give a preliminary rank to Cleland Ferrell, I mean, he's not better than Nick Bosa. He's not better than Josh Allen. He's probably right. He's next somewhere. He's in that next tier behind those guys. He's behind them somewhere. I mean, he's better than Montez, and I think he's put together as a prospect, more than like Ja'Kai Polite. Jalen Ferguson, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, you can do more with Cleland than guys like that. So, I mean, we're not saying Cleland ain't that far from those top few guys, but he ain't top 5 though. That's my
of
big
all
problem.
players, respectively, looking at all of them and saying where these guys will be picked and then where they fit with what particular team, and using SARF to justify taking those guys at what spot you're wanting to take them at.
Sure.
Cleland Ferrell is like edge 3, edge 4. I saw somebody in the chat just say it, and I totally agree. Edge 3, edge 4.
I agree.
Somewhere right in there.
Totally agree.
But he could definitely be overdrafted and be taken in the top 5.
Sure.
I see the teams that have the ability to do so. The Jets. It could. Hey, really interesting. Tampa could take Cleland Ferrell and use him as an outside linebacker there with Todd Bowles with that 34.
They shouldn't, but they can.
I mean, they shouldn't.
Sure.
But it would be a quality pick nonetheless. I mean, Tampa kind of has to go BPA anyway, but I don't want to get into that story.
Do you consider Rashawn Gary an edge guy? I think he's a 3 tech.
He's one of those tweeners.
And time out again, Dan. Let me say this. Cole said Voch said Wilkins isn't good with his hands. Voch said Wilkins don't use his hands. If you take a look at 2018 Wilkins, he don't use his hands as a 3 tech. But when he was defensive end Wilkins, he did use his hands. 3 tech Christian Wilkins just kind of get upfield and bust ass. He uses his hands sometimes as 3 tech Wilkins, but 3 tech Wilkins mostly gets upfield and bust ass. Like, hey,
look,
come on, fam.
Christian Wilkins tape and Grady Jarrett tape are eerily similar. They're very, 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 very similar. So if you believe in that hype, then you can say that you might be able to get a solid player, a 3-down lineman out of Christian Wilkins. And maybe that's where his upside is to be a Grady Jarrett type. I hate player comparisons because you don't know. Von Miller is Von Miller. Nobody else is going to be Von Miller. Sure. Aaron Donald's Aaron Donald. He's a unicorn. Nobody's going to be Aaron Donald. Okay.
Sure.
But if you want to try to get close to or say that there's a potential or ceiling for someone to be kind of like that, a Christian Wilkins is kind of like a Grady Jarrett. It's very the tape is very similar and the projection is very similar and the position that he's going to play is very similar. But getting back to point was Gary. Gary and Oliver fit the same bill, by the way. I think Gary, Oliver, and Zach Allen are all the same.
I haven't watched
They
Zach
can play
Allen
some
yet.
3 tech and they can play some 5.
Okay.
And that's going to make them versatile defensive linemen. But they're not for everybody.
Okay. I actually have Zach Allen on my list to watch because he is a Senior Bowl guy. Haven't gotten that far yet. But what I was gonna say about hand usage or whatever, man, like when I think of hand usage, man, go watch Quentin Williams, bro. And I know, and you know what? Go watch Jonathan Allen when he was he was playing. You know what I mean? Like that's hand usage to me. You know what I'm saying? So when I say Christian Wilkins, and I don't want to be harping on this too long, I'm about to move on. So when I say Christian Wilkins ain't really using his hands, I mean, he's not. He's not. He's kicking people ass upfield. And that's fine. He uses his hands sometimes, but he ain't doing it like Quentin's doing it. He's different. He's doing different things, but don't call me out of my chat box. I get feisty.
There are tweeners in this class like Ed Oliver,
sure,
like Gary, like Zach Allen. Who else fits that build? I want one more guy that kind of fits that same build.
The guy that's athletic but not really big enough to play three tech, but not enough to play outside. That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
It's bound to be somebody else. I just can't.
Yeah, there's. It's not like a Ja'Kai Polite or a Ferrell
sure.
or actually, interesting. Jeffrey Simmons could be that kind of guy. I know he's a little bit bigger, but Jeffrey Simmons has the athleticism to be able to do that.
He can move around. I like him at 3 though. Like guaranteed. Like don't put him. I like him at 3, but if you got to put him elsewhere, I get it because he can move around a bit. I just really, really like him at 3.
Yeah, I mean the only player that I can see in this draft that can move from 0 to 5 that has that versatility is a Christian Wilkins. I wouldn't move Quentin Williams anywhere from 3 tech I love him at 3 tech. God damn it, I love him at 3 tech.
Christian is better than Oliver, especially as a pure pass rusher.
That's not a hot take.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. I
That's
ain't mad.
true.
I kind of want to attack him because it's pro Clemson and apparently I'm anti Clemson, so
Yeah.
I need to attack him.
I think Oliver's the next Clowney.
Go deeper.
Maybe that's too hot of a take for people, but I think that Ed Oliver and Jadeveon Clowney's take is eerily the same. Where it's like, ooh, he has one big highlight flash play, but a lot of the times he runs himself out of the play, or he blew up the guy at the line, but he tried to arm tackle someone. He's going 90-0. If somebody could contain that, if somebody could try to contain,
kind of
you know how Cyclops, when he doesn't have his visor on,
Yeah.
he just opens his eyes, he obliterates everything.
Yeah.
Ed Oliver needs a visor.
Kind of a wild horse. Kind of a wild horse. Okay, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Oliver, and I keep going back to Q-Dub. But one of my words I'm gonna use for Quentin that I hope kind of gets moved around the draft world or whatever is controlled chaos. You know what I'm saying? And like how he can tear shit up. But he knows exactly what's about to happen. Like I'm gonna move you, and when your running back comes this way, I'm gonna get rid of you and grab you. And like that's controlled chaos. Ed Oliver runs up the field and tears shit up. He's a horse. He's what's the bull in a china shop? That's the phrase I'm looking for. That's Oliver. Now his size. Somebody being able to move and being his size. I think him and Rashawn Gary both have that trait for being their size, being able to do what they can do athletically. But they both got a lot of D-line to learn. That's just my opinion. Jadeveon Clowney had a lot of defensive end to learn. So I feel you on that. But Clowney was an animal. He was grown as man among shows.
And I'm not saying, let me just clear up with the chat. I'm not saying that Ed Oliver is Jadeveon Clowney.
Sure.
Because like I just stated just a little while ago, no player in the NFL, you cannot compare a college player to somebody in the NFL who's been there for a while and learned something completely new. The speed of the game is completely different. But like I said, there's a ceiling or a Venn diagram of what these guys can do similarly. They can just do something similar. Gotcha. I think that Ed Oliver has that kind of same mentality where he's just a freaky athlete. He's probably better as a 3 tech than he is as a 5. He will most likely go to a team that can play a 34 and utilize him inside outside kind of deal.
Sure.
Not as a true linebacker to cover anything, but as a rushing linebacker, maybe a Von Miller-esque type guy, even though Von can actually cover in some situations. But Ed fits that profile. It's not exactly about saying that player is that guy. It's about profile fitting and making sure that that guy has similar traits to a particular player. Let's see if he can continue to grow, mature to be like that player, but not that player. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Let me do a little experiment here. Yo, Cody, where do you rank Mitch Hyatt amongst the tackles this year? Fair question. Honestly, I honestly want to know where you rank Mitch Hyatt amongst the tackles in this class here. Dan, I want to get back to Senior Bowl for a couple seconds, and then we're gonna go fight the draft Illuminati again. I wanted to touch on some receivers and DBs. We didn't give the little people much love. The only big name running back that I got written down here is Karan Higdon from Michigan. He's the big name and running back that I'm looking for. Couple other guys from obscure state that I'm not really looking at, but a couple of receivers though. Devin Sills from West Virginia. He's going to be interesting to look at. Debo Samuel from South Carolina State. From South Carolina, University of South Carolina. Interested in seeing him amongst other talent or whatnot. Penny Hart from Georgia State. People are very interested. Cowboys fans mostly. That we're interested in a lot of these 5'8" receiver guys. One of these guys that can come in and play third down, running back, slot receiver, kick return, punt return. You know what I'm saying? Like those guys. So we're going to be looking at Penny Hart from Georgia State and Andy Isabella from UMass. So I want to take a look at that. Cody says Mitch is a third or fourth round pick. He's strong, but I've seen him. I think Mitch is like a 5 or a 6, but that's just my opinion. Andy Isabella, yes, from UMass. So I think it's going to be a couple of receivers to take a look at. And as I flip to my DB list, no, it's cornerback. Okay, here we go. Cornerbacks. Chris Boyd from Texas. I'm interested. Armani.
The kid from Penn State.
The kid from Penn State. Cornerback from Penn State. You know what I'm talking about. Cornerback from Penn State.
Yeah.
Coach Evans guy, Sheldon Redwine from Miami. But there's this safety I was watching, Lieutenant Dan.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched these corners, but I have watched this one safety, this Nazir Adderley kid from obscure state Delaware. Boy.
Oh, the ones who are comparing to Bobby Wagner?
Yeah. No. Safety. Nazir Adderley.
Whatever his name is. Earl Thomas, I think. That somebody put out a photo
I saw that.
Of him and like Earl Thomas or something.
Yeah.
Next to each other. I was like,
that's a bit wild, but if you attempt to make some type of context with that, if you attempt to try to make some type of context, he is a smart football player. He's always around the ball. He's a free safety with range. He can run and he can tackle. So if that's where they're going with the Earl Thomas take, sure. Voch don't do comparisons. I can't stand it. but Voch is a big fan of Nazir Adderley. He whoops ass. He knocks people the hell out. He's always around the football. Tracks the ball in the air very well. I don't use the BH word a bunch. Ball hawk. I don't necessarily like to get into the BH word a bunch. Whoa. But if y'all want to go get Deontay Thompson early, and if y'all want to go get Taylor Rapp early, and if y'all just kind of want to let Nazir Adderley just fall, I'll take Nazir Adderley at 58 in Dallas. I'll take him.
I don't think Nazir Adderley has the vision for this.
Damn! I think
No. I'm going there.
Okay, go ahead.
I've already watched a little bit of his tape.
And Dan, and let me say this before you get started: the Senior Bowl evaluation will definitely help all this out. So I'm not even sold
100%,
yet.
100%.
I'm not sold
Senior
yet.
Bowl, and if he appears at the combine, his pro day visits, his official 30 workouts, like all of that's going to clear a lot of shit up.
Sure.
But from what I can tell,
absolutely,
this kid's he's got that strong safety vibe
because he can hit, but he got range though. He also has range.
His coverage is not great.
I think
getting to the spot's not a problem for him.
And as a free safety, that's what I want from you. And I think I'm not calling him a first round guy yet. I'm not calling him a first round guy because I ain't got all the Carfax yet. But I've seen him run. He can cover grass. I've seen him getting spots. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen him tackle when he gets there. You know what I mean? So he does have a lot of pre-draft look at you indicators. You know what I mean? He strikes
he's
me.
He's not scared to hit.
He feels like a top 50 guy to me. So we're gonna have to see. The problem is that when you watch film on him, like, man, is this Delaware high school they playing against? Boy, who the hell are they playing? They playing against some trash ass schools. So when we see him covering some of these other, Senior Bowl guys, that's gonna help a whole bunch.
Yeah, I think that as the process continues, we're going to have more and more of these lives where we do things together and we talk about this, and all of us in the draft community are going to really begin to kind of peel back the skin here and kind of look a little bit deeper at everything that's going on with these players. What injury history is going to come up into question. Particular snap counts at a particular position are going to come up to question, because nowadays fans will actually go out and watch tape and will put numbers down and make graphs and go, he played at this position and did this and did this.
Sure.
And here's what he's doing well and here's what he's not. Man, a couple of guys that I saw the East-West Shrine game and I want to see more of them. Terry Godwin. I think that he could be really interesting.
What was that?
He's a UGA wide receiver.
Okay.
And he dropped a couple of balls at the East-West Shrine game. I think he even had a touchdown as well. But he's kind of one of those smaller, kind of like 5'11", 6 foot kind of guys.
Yeah, one of them cats.
Speedy.
Boy, the league loved him. Man, look, let me tell you something. Tyreek Hill made it
That's
real.
the Patriots' fault.
Tyreek Hill, guys like Tariq Cohen, Patriots guys, they made it easy for these 5'8" can run fast guys to be able to come out here and eat. You know what I'm saying? They made it easy for them. So now everybody's trying to find one, whether it be day 3 or whether it be undrafted guys. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of guys, man. It's a lot of guys. But I think a lot of them just gonna disappear. I think a lot of guys are gonna disappear in the ethos and we'll never hear from them again. I think that's just the way it goes. So that's why the draft process is.
That's just the nature of the game, though.
Sure.
That's the nature of how everything is structured. If and I don't want to get into this because it's a completely different subject, but just to touch on it for just a second, if there were more opportunities, like a larger roster, a larger practice squad, even more teams in the league, then we could see more of some of these players and what they're capable of doing at the next level. But again, just the nature of the beast that we have here in the NFL, a lot of these guys kind of fade out, get an opportunity in the CFL, or maybe they go off to this new league, the XFL, or in some cases with the AAF or whatever it's called, that the NFL's developmental league is opening up, and they have about 8 teams that are about to start. This is actually co-branded with the NFL. And a lot of these guys that might fade out might actually go down one level. This is actually really interesting. I wanted to touch on this with you, Voch. Was there something else that you wanted to cover first?
Let me say this before you get started, because I'm kind of digging what you're saying, because I had this idea that I wish that quarterback, kicker, punter, and holder weren't a part of the active roster. You know what I mean? First of all, like Nate Sudfeld can get a job, right? Guys like Matt Castle can still go get a job. So I don't think it's hard to find quarterbacks that can, show up and play or whatever. But I think it's a lot of, there is some room. There is room for more skilled guys, for more linebackers, maybe for more of these, guys that aren't necessarily highly touted, that could play, but it's only 255 spots and it's only, so much room for guys to play. I wouldn't mind expanding that idea. I don't want way too more people. You know what I mean? But I do think opening up the roster for certain positions, I think that'll be dope. I think that's an idea worth exploring. Yeah.
So the idea is, at least what we were talking about maybe about a month or two ago, with the Grounders anyway. This is what happens in my Discord and in my chats on YouTube, where guys just start kind of flinging ideas out. You know how obviously the XFL is about to open back up again. That's actually going to be an official league. No gimmicks, no bullshit.
Fired.
Yeah, exactly that shit. But it's going to be a genuine league. Guys are going to be playing very similar to the NFL rules, very similar schedule playing. I believe it's going to either be during the spring or into the summer that they're going to be playing, kind of growing and maturing. But the NFL started a developmental league called the AAF or something along those lines.
Okay.
And that developmental league is going to be for players to get a second chance, or those that are on practice squads, or players from other leagues trying to kind of develop and mature. There's about 8 teams, I believe, that's going to open up and kind of get this thing started. But my thought process is this. They're going to have to get something in writing to make sure that draft prospects don't just go, you know what, I don't want to be drafted this year. I'm done with college, but I don't want to be drafted this year. I'm going to go to the AAF. And I'm going to sit down there in the AAF and not get drafted. And then when my contract is up 2-3 years down the road, because they're paying them, it's a very unique salary right now. It's not large salary counts. It's unique. I think it's like $300,000 for a year or something like that.
Sure.
But after my 2 or 3 year contract with my AAF team, I'll pick whoever I want to be with as a free agent instead of getting drafted and put into a bad situation.
Yeah, they don't want to do that. The league don't want to do that. Also, nobody will go to college. Like guys like Trevor Lawrence. You making me play at Clemson? I think he's ready. He's ready now. If not, he'll be ready next year. But Trevor can't come out till 2021. You know what I'm saying? Let him do this thing, especially quarterbacks. Let him do this thing, get some bread. You know what I'm saying? Make $300,000, then come out in the league or whatever. That'll fuck up the whole infrastructure.
I know that we all think that this is just like a there's no chance for the player. You know, when the Browns are the number 1 pick, the Browns are going to pick somebody, and that player is going to have to like it or not. You know, when they get drafted by the Browns,
sure,
or whatever team that is up there at number 1. If that player doesn't want to be drafted by them, the NFL needs to make some language in order for these players not to just go, you know what, you got a developmental league, right? I'm going to go sit down there in the developmental league. I'm going to develop for a year, 2 years, 3 years. And when I get out, I'm a free agent. I get to go wherever the hell I want. I don't get redrafted. I don't go into any draft. This is your developmental league. So that means that now I am a free agent. No one has a contract on me. And now I can go wherever I want. Just bring up your point just a second ago. A guy like Trevor Lawrence. What if Trevor Lawrence decides that he doesn't want to go to the NFL draft? And there's no language that stops him from saying that he doesn't want to go to the NFL draft. He stays at Clemson for 4 years. He doesn't get his senior season. He goes to the AAF. He plays there for 2 years, 3 years. Gets out and goes, I really like the Patriots. I'm gonna go sign with the Patriots for 4 years. You know?
Dan,
you know what I'm saying?
Dan, there's this poet by the name of Sean Carter, man. And he said this recently, actually. He said, look, they'll run the checkup, but they'll never give you leverage. Ever. And I think when you give the players leverage, when the inmates start to run the prison and all that.
Well, that's coming up in 2 years, Voch.
That's what I'm
2021.
saying.
UCBA. They're going to lock this shit out.
They're going to exactly.
Listen, everybody in here, it's 2019. I get it. Enjoy your football now. Enjoy your football 2020, okay?
Sure.
But come 2021, go ahead and have this in the back of your mind. That season could be in jeopardy. They will lock that shit out. The Players Association is a strong, strong business decision.
Sure.
And they will stop that season if they have to. They'll sacrifice 3 or 4 games if they have to. The players will want what the players want. Okay? And you know what the players want? They want NBA-style contracts.
They want weed and big money.
Weed, big money, and freedom to go wherever they want.
Get rid of that dumbass franchise tag. Get rid of that dumbass 5th-year option. Boy, it's going to be work. Boy, this is going to be we might not have football 2021. God.
2021 could be the year where everything gets locked out. We lose let's go in the worst case scenario. Mm-hmm. We lose 5 games. 5 games. You lose 5 games. You know how much 5 games could change the entire dynamic of the playoffs? You know how 5 games could change everything? You know, the Jets every once in a while will beat the Patriots. What if that changed the dynamic? Sure. And the Jets somehow slipped into the playoff picture, but the Patriots didn't.
The problem won't be
upset.
The problem won't be with the big money players. You know,
no.
Drew Brees can afford to miss 5 games.
Getting contracts now. Pat Mahomes. Did you see the news that just came out?
$200 million is crazy. $200 million is crazy. But Pat gonna get that money before 2021, so that's cool there. But look at players like Antoine Woods, players like Dietrich Sinat that can't afford to miss 5 games. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's way more Sinats than it is Pat Mahomes's. You know, so. We'll see. We'll cross that road whenever we get there. That's another podcast too, though. One last thing before we get up out of here, because we got to watch football in a minute, and let y'all go do y'all life, and y'all got to watch my Jalen Ferguson film session or whatever. Let's attack the NFL Illuminati. The draft Illuminati. Those are 2 different entities. Let's attack the draft Illuminati one time before we wrap this thing up.
What point you got?
Yo, Dan, you think You think Kyle Kingsbury is gonna kick Josh Rosen out the paint and bring in Kyler Murray as the first overall pick, 5'8", 180 Kyler Murray as the first overall pick, and rejuvenate the Cardinals offense, no offensive line or nothing like that? What you thinking, Dan? It sounds good. Oh, it sounds good, don't it?
So let's put some things into perspective real quick. Number one,
sure.
Kingsbury, right?
Absolutely.
New head coach.
Sure.
Brand new guy there.
Yeah.
Josh Rosen ain't my quarterback. If I'm Kyle Kingsbury,
You say he ain't
my quarterback.
He ain't your quarterback?
He ain't my quarterback. I didn't draft him.
Oh boy.
I didn't draft him.
Oh boy.
But that's just my view on it. The reality of the situation is Josh Rosen's not a bad quarterback. He needs protection. He needs the Andrew Luck treatment, to be honest. They need to go get some offensive linemen, stack that shit in front of him.
Sure. Jonah Williams ain't the first overall pick, though.
Oh, my Lord.
He's not.
Draft Illuminati trying to tell me that Jonah Williams is a first-round pick. Roto World comes out, slaps him right in the face, says, he's a day 2 guy.
Dan, he's a first-round pick. He's not a top 5 guy.
I digress.
I think, you know what? I think
Kyler Murray
let me say this.
in Arizona doesn't make any sense. Just draft a quarterback.
Real fast on Jonah. I think some people are gonna look at him as a center or guard. That's what I think.
Yeah, but then how far do you go? Here's the real question to somebody that knows offensive line.
Sure.
Is the world not completely different and viewed a different way when you move from your natural position over even one spot or 2 maximum?
It's trash. One of the hardest things about playing center, and I played center, one of the hardest things about playing center was learning how to slide both ways. Boy, is that shit trash. Boy, sliding in both directions one of the most underratedly hard things to do in football. I totally agree. But I may not necessarily have this concern right now. And let me think before I say this, because somebody in the chat box is going to be like, whatever. But I think teams...
No matter what you say, by the way, they're going to say something.
Sure. I cuss too much. But teams value arm length. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think teams really, really value that. And somebody's going to say, oh, but they said the same thing about Joe Thomas, Voch. And I get it. But Joe Thomas had the ability to anchor and be strong as shit on one arm. Joe was good at that. And we have film evidence. I dropped it in my Jonah Williams film session for those that haven't watched it. If somebody gets inside on Jonah before he does, Jonah gonna have some issues. And Jonah doesn't necessarily shoot his hands like a gangster. He'll put his hands out and catch somebody and recover well. He got great feet. He got great recovery. You know what I'm saying? To
Cody's point in the chat.
I don't want to talk to Cody.
No. He's swinging both ways on Jonah Williams being a top guy and also Cleland Ferrell being an elite pass rusher.
Cody, get on my nerves.
No. Let me prove both of you right.
I'm about to block Cody. But go ahead.
No, I'm smiling too much to hold on 1 second. I need like 30 seconds identification.
You ain't got 30. Go.
Okay. Jonah Williams up against Cleland Ferrell. Doing a great 50-50 job, keeping him away, moving him out. Got beat once or twice. Nothing crazy. Had not gotten killed or anything like that. And we'll do it on our film session at some point next week or something like that. But Jonah Williams puts his arms out, right? Cleland Ferrell has much longer arms than Jonah Williams.
That was a big problem. Sure.
Jonah steps outside. Cleland steps inside, long arms on Jonah first. Knocks his ass to the ground.
Sure.
Backs him right up into Tua. Tua has to throw that ball so quick.
Sure.
Because he knows he's about to either A, get his knee snapped in half, or B, he's going to get flattened by, what is that, 500 pounds plus?
Sure.
So Jonah Williams does have a problem with the counter move inside. And he also has a problem with length.
Sure.
And I bet if we were all to go back on the tape and go look at long lengthy guys.
I got a video.
I wonder if Jonah Williams struggles with that particular occasion. That's some homework for all of y'all. Go out there, go find Jonah Williams tape, go watch and see if the guys rushing against him are long and quick.
I'll tell you.
And hit him with an inside counter.
Listen, I'll tell you. Go to Georgia and LSU. Go to Georgia, go watch him versus Georgia, watch him versus LSU, then go watch my film session. If you able to get your hands inside first, in which you can because he really doesn't shoot his hands like a gangster, he's more of a catcher. If you get your hands inside of him first, you can extend and move him the hell out the way. It's true.
Because I watched Jonah struggle several times against Cleland Ferrell where he faded the outside move, brought it back inside, but he was already touching Jonah. So then when he actually used his next move, it was just a power rush inside, and he just knocked him down.
Man, damn,
or moved him out of the way and collapsed the pocket.
Man, I'm proud of you.
And that's that thing. That's that thing right there, is that Jonah Williams might be a better guard than he is a tackle, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And then to be fair, too, let me say this. I ain't necessarily saying Jonah can't play tackle. He might be a better guard, though. He might be a better center. We don't know. We don't know yet. I don't have the answers. I'm not Vostradamus. I'm just making
I'm not going to buy the draft Illuminati. Jonah Williams is going to be a center thing. Okay, that's a bit much for me. But as a guard, maybe.
That's what they saying, Dan. Oh, they saying put him at center. They said, but
I know.
Because of his arm length and him not being able to deal with super strength guys very well, they want to put him at center. I think it's interesting. I'm not saying I agree, but it's interesting. It's something to think about.
Guys in Voch chat, guys in the Grounders chat.
Don't look at my chat.
Just hear this nonsense.
I'm blocking code.
The draft Illuminati thinks that he should be an all-star center. That's insane.
It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild.
Are you insane?
It's kind of wild, man.
So, clearly, they started their stuff last week, and even you, Voch, even though you're like, I'm not draft guy until January.
Sure.
Even you have watched some tape. One through this process, through the fall months into the winter months.
Sure.
And you're already ahead of the game. Voch said it at the beginning. Actually, when we were off tape, off screen.
Oh, we're off air.
Off air.
But the draft Illuminati
Voch
just not finding Quentin Williams, man. That's crazy.
I can go out and be late on telling things to people and still kick the draft Illuminati's ass and be right. I can be late to the party, show up in my Lambo, walk out, walk in, drink some drink from the punch bowl, and go, you're wrong, and boom, done, without question. It's too easy for Voch. For someone like myself, I have to watch for a really long time, and kind of, okay, this is what's going on here. And right as the draft Illuminati starts saying stuff, I'll start counter arguing it because I've had a long time to watch some of the tape. Voch can come out and just be like, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. That's Voch, man.
I do be like that. I'm done with Code, though, man. This ain't your show, Code. It's my show. Because I knew he was going to pull this shit. Steven Benzie dropped a dime in the super chat. This for me and you, Dan. He says, what do we think about Mitch Hyatt at right tackle or right guard?
As a 4-year starter at left tackle, I would rather move him to left guard than try to move him all the way to the other side of the field and have him grow behind someone and maybe work, maybe not work. And you're the offensive line guy, Voch, so you tell me, switching from left tackle to left guard, how hard is that?
Oh, it's pretty trash. I remember, because your bearing's all wrong, because one of your feet may be more balanced than the other one. But I remember watching film on Mitch Hyatt the same time I was watching film on Connor Williams and guys like what's my man? Montez Ivy from Florida. And my man from Mississippi State that played left tackle, guard, and center. What's my man's name? Play with the Texans now. My man from Mississippi, offensive lineman. I forgot his name. But I remember watching all those guys, and I remember liking Mitch Hyatt. Then I kept watching Mitch. Then I watched Mitch this year, and I'm like, what the fuck happened to Mitch? I thought Mitch was going to be great. Well, I thought he was gonna be cool. I thought he was gonna be good. But Mitch, as a left tackle, he's a 6th round, 5th round guy to me. I think that's fair. He's a 5th round, 6th round guy to me. I think he's an early day 3 guy, 4th or 5th round, right? So as a guard, I think he's strong enough to play guard. You know what I mean? His feet are gonna give you problems. Shooting and missing is gonna give him problems. But I think he can play inside. So moving him all the way to the right side, I mean, ask him what he's comfortable with. And if he feel like he can play right guard, cool. But he's played left tackle, so I would put him at left guard too, Dan. Yeah, so I feel you on that. But man, did that guy take a plummet. Mitch Hyatt.
I think if he goes to the combine and has a successful combine, depending on the team, he could be a day 2 guy, like 3rd round. But Mitch, after what I've seen on tape, and I just like some other guys better at left guard. I would rather not take the risk and move him from left tackle to left guard, and instead just go get a left guard from the 2nd or 3rd round that I know can immediately step in and play the position.
Time out, Dan, because I'm about to block Cody. I'm about to block Cody.
Actually, he did ask a question a little while ago about Yanni Kajutsi.
No, Dan, Cody just said I would call in, and he would call in, and he's one of my platinum callers, but he's under a different name, and he don't want to blow his cover. What kind of incognito shit is this, man? What is this? What kind of shit? I'm loading the phones up. I'm loading the phones up. I want to hear from Cody. I want to hear what the hell Cody got to say. Then we're going to get up out of here because football's on the way. Let me, Stephen Benzie dropped another dime in the super chat. Salute to him because he's amazing. Meant to say OG or OT or OG. Sorry. Okay, cool, Stephen. If it could be any guard, sure, I would put him at whichever guard he feels comfortable with, and not necessarily to move him all around the line or whatever. I think he has enough strength to play inside. Sure, he kind of has problems with guys in space and feet and all that, but sure. Dan, you got something on that? You got thoughts on that?
What, on Kajutsi?
Who? No.
Yadni Kajutsi?
I ain't even watched film on him. I'm talking about Mitch Hyatt.
Oh, on Mitch? Mitch has a problem of trying to react first to something. You just need like that balance. Obviously you want to get hands on a guy first.
Sure.
Right? That's something that you taught me a long time ago, that you want to get a hands on a guy quickly.
I'm proud of you.
But you want to also not sit like you're in a chair. You want to be ready. And sometimes Mitch kind of sits in that chair and then, he tries to react too quickly to get something, and he kind of gets beat up.
He gets pulled forward. He gets pulled forward because his feet ain't moving. Yeah.
Right. So a rip move really destroys Mitch Hyatt.
Sure.
But if he was in the interior, if he was playing at left guard, that might not be as bad, because you might have a center kind of shrug off a dude, push him towards the outside. Then Mitch can kind of go for saying one.
What'll help is if Mitch can engage in the fight early, he has a shot. But if he got to kick and read and react, then he's in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fights on the inside happen way faster than fights on the outside. You actually got to be better technically on the outside than on the inside. I feel what you're saying.
Yeah, and that helps him a bunch, because we're saying that the negative on Mitch Hyatt is that he reads and reacts too quickly and then gets beat.
Sure.
But on the inside, you have to react immediately.
Sure.
And that could be a positive for Mitch Hyatt. Maybe, you know what? Maybe that pushes his draft stock up. Maybe he is a 3rd round pick or a 2nd round pick as a guard, not as a tackle.
No, it doesn't.
Again, depending on the team who wants to draft him, they might draft him earlier because they just like him better.
Could be a SARF guy.
But I think we are correct in saying that he is a day 2 and maybe even like end of day 2, maybe day 3 kind of guy.
Absolutely. Let me ask you a question, Dan. Since we're back on this Illuminati thing, have you watched film on Dwayne Haskins?
I have.
Do you think some team's gonna sell the house and move up to go get him?
I wouldn't.
Boy, if the Giants give up everything, if they give up
Just
everything,
tell the Giants to suffer one more year and go get Tua. Don't worry about this nonsense. Go get Tua.
I'm a Cowboys fan, right? Let me tell you how genius I think the Giants are. We were up here saying, man, they drafted Saquon. They're stupid. They should go offensive line or go get Sam Darnold. What if they knew that they were going to be like top 5, like or top picks the next 3 years? Like, what if they knew? What if they had the foresight that they were going to be trash regardless, and then they go get Trevor Lawrence and pair him with Saquon Barkley and whoever the hell's that they draft in between time? What if that's the mission? That would be brilliant.
That's some Cowboys Amari Cooper trade a first round pick type shit.
Oh boy.
That's some smarts.
Let me Dan, I'm actually about to mute everything. Let me mute this whole system to set my phones up. Then I'm gonna get back to you. So you about to be on hush, but hold on. So yeah, man, I just muted Dan to set my phone lines up or whatnot. I think Dan's people can still hear me. I believe so. So I'm just gonna continue to talk this thing up while I set the phone lines up, while I get Cody in here, while I can, because we're probably gonna, scream on him before these games start. Stephen Benz, I'm gonna get to your third super chat in a second, brother. Don't go nowhere. But in case y'all are new to my show, when I say draft Illuminati, man, I mean these guys that drive the narrative. I mean these guys that are behind these media scouts. That their job as media scouts is to be first. They generate clicks, so when the interest is up high, it's their job to pull y'all's attention and views from that. So when y'all see these headlines, and I'm going to call them out, I'm a gangster. When y'all see Bleacher Report, when you see the 4-letter network, the 3-letter network, all these other little beat writers and things like that, when you see these guys, when they drop a headline that says, way too early film says, way too early mock draft, boom, 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 they have no idea. Like, way too early mock drafts have things like Brad Kaya as the number 1 quarterback, or guys like Paxton Lynch as the number 1 guy. But the more you watch the film don't change, right? Like it. Out of all the things that can change, the narrative changes, the process in terms of, hey, your 40 time got better, or you got stronger here, your whatever. Tape don't change. Tape don't change. And if you watch the tape and you properly evaluate it, you won't be lost in the cold. You won't be lost. Just pay attention to the tape and it'll set you free. I say it all the time. So when I say things like, when I'm watching film on Quinnen Williams, and I watched him early. I watched him in like October or something. Whenever I drop the film session, y'all go check that out. When I watched Quinnen Williams, I was like, man, Quinnen Williams is special. Like Quinnen Williams didn't just become good when people just started talking about him. Like, Quinnen Williams been good all year, and he's even gotten better. But if it's up to the draft Illuminati, they're going to sell you on guys like Ed Oliver because he's been a star since freshman year. Or they're going to sell you on guys like Rashawn Gary because they've been a star since freshman year. Those players are good. I like those players. But those players got a lot of D-line to learn. Like Jeffrey Simmons knows how to play D-line. Quinnen Williams knows how to play D-line. That controlled chaos thing that I was talking about, they know how to do this. Ed Oliver don't really know how to play D-line. He just know how to be more athletic than the guy in front of him. And you can kind of take that with whatever grain of salt you want to. So when we say things like the draft Illuminati, they tripping, they're slipping, they pushing this narrative. They're pushing Ed Oliver to be one of the top guys because he's always been a top guy. But if you watch the film, it'll tell you otherwise. But then if you keep watching, if you just wait it out around March, when the media scouts catch up, when they start watching film, the media scouts will tell you, yo, boy, this kid Quinnen Williams, he may take the great Ed Oliver's spot. And now they got attention on Quinnen Williams. See how the game works? So when you see guys like So when you see guys like Dwayne Haskins at the top of the board, Kyler Murray at the top of the board, they're the top of the board because they got to be. Because, you know, when we're looking at draft, you know, quarterback-driven conversation generates clicks. You know, when we had the whole Kyle's King, let me see who the hell Cody Parkey is. That's Cody? Get the fuck Dan. Dan.
Yeah.
You're not going to believe who the hell Cody Parkey is, bro.
I ain't going to guess.
Wait a minute.
Welcome. This service is provided by freeconferencecall.com. There is one host and one participant in this conference.
Wait a minute.
The recording has started. Please note that your storage is almost full.
Yeah, whatever. Cool.
Please log in and delete recordings or purchase more storage from your account.
Cody, I had no idea, man. You lied. What's up, man?
Big baby, what it is?
Wait, no. It's Carolina Pimp.
What it is? Hey,
can I give you a hug, Carolina Pimp? God damn it.
Boy, Cody Parkey been Carolina Pimp the whole time, man. What's good, man? I was about to block you.
Chillin', man.
I was about to block you.
I know you was, man. That's why I had to call in and be like, come on, man. You're not going to block Carolina Pimp. What it is, man?
I can't block Carolina Pimp. I can't block Carolina. Hold on, man. Let me rewind because I'm a bit flabbergasted or whatever. Let me get the whole Carolina Pimp intro in. Yo, Playboy, what's happening, man? You chilling like a villain, styling, profiling, champagne, and campaigning for the Doski Woski, bro?
Shit, big baby, you already know what it is, and I don't care what Dan says. The Falcons is a bullshit team, but what it is, big baby.
Man,
listen, man.
What's good, bro?
Listen, man. Look, I'm a Clemson fan, and am I a little bit biased sometimes? Yes.
Okay. Cool.
What really made me start talking in the chat is when Dan said that Jonah Williams, like he was making it sound like, okay, Ferrell got the best of Jonah Williams, so therefore that means Jonah Williams ain't shit. And I'm just trying to say, Cleland Ferrell, man, look, I know I saw the video that you put out on my man.
Sure.
His bend isn't the best.
Right.
And I understand that.
Right.
But he got that ass whoop about him.
Sure.
He'll walk that tackle all the way back into the quarterback, and I think he has a good inside move, my man. And I'm just saying, I think that, I don't know, man. I just think y'all lower on Ferrell than I think y'all need to be. But, hey, that's just me. We can have different opinions.
I like Ferrell. I just don't think he's a top 5 guy. That's my whole point. I don't think he's a top 5, top 10 guy, but I do think he's a guy that can play. I think he's a guy that when he gets to the league, somebody's going to teach him something, and when he learns those things, he'll be better. But as a current as Cleland Ferrell, Clemson Tiger, he got a lot of stuff to learn.
Yeah, and look, I'm not saying he's perfect.
Sure.
I mean, I never said that.
Gotcha.
But look, this is my hot take for the day, man. I think Ferrell is, okay, outside of Bosa, I think he's the best edge rusher. I know you said Josh Allen is the best. All right, but let me ask you this. All right, let me get your opinion on this. Can Josh Allen put his hand in the dirt?
Yes.
Or is he just an outside linebacker?
He can 100% put his hand in the dirt. Yes, sir.
Okay, so his weight don't bother you putting his hand in the dirt if you went to, like, my Panthers or, you know, a 4-3 team?
He'll be fine. Now, the difference is if he's going to put his hand in the dirt, they're going to have to give him 3 peanut butter sandwiches opposed to giving Cleland Ferrell, like, 2 peanut butter sandwiches. See what I'm saying? Like, Cleland is the bigger guy, but Josh can play with his hand in the dirt. Remember Noah Spence? Not making similarities here, but Noah Spence was a slender, almost kind of guy, right? But now he's swole. He's swole as shit now. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, the league put a dumbbell and a peanut butter sandwich in your hand and you just grow. It just happens. I don't know how to do it, but you just do. And I think Josh Allen is going to be on that program, and I think he'll be you know, good to go once he goes through that.
All right, let me ask you this. And I ain't trying to take too much of your time. I know y'all trying to watch the NFC Championship game.
Gotcha.
Again, I had to call in and show some love. Hey, I'm showing love to Dan, too. Dan's, man, it is what it is. Hey, go Tigers, baby. We're national champions. That's all that matters. But listen, man, my comparison for Ferrell is Cameron Jordan.
Okay.
What you think about that? Because I think that he's not elite at any one thing, but man, he does the job well.
I think
Go ahead.
And I don't do player comparisons. I hate it. I can't stand it.
All right.
But I think Everson Griffin is kind of fair for him. Not from a size type perspective or whatever, but I think Everson Griffin's ball get off sets up the rest of his game. You know what I mean? Because Everson ain't really got a bunch of moves he does. He just beats you to your back hip, defeat your hands, and sometimes spin back inside, right? And I think if Cleland can control his ball get off, I think the rest of his game is going to kind of revolve around that. You see what I'm saying?
I feel that, man.
Just my opinion. Just my opinion.
I feel that good, man.
But Carolina Pimp, Cody, appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in, bro. I'm not gonna block you no more.
Yeah, man. Don't block. Look, Carolina Pimp is a cooler name than Cody. So I mean, shit. I did my name though, but it is what it is, man. Look, I'm out here showing love. Do your thing. We out here, baby.
All right, man. Salute, bro. Man, what kind of Inception, Bizarro, alternate universe is that, man?
I'm flabbergasted.
I had no idea.
I concede. No, I don't. Never mind. Cleland Ferrell still not top 5. Never mind.
And look, Dad, this is the funny part. I got a lot of Cowboys fans that kind of like follow me now, and they have no idea who Carolina Pimp is. Carolina Pimp is a legend on this show. He's one of those legendary characters on this show. And
even through the hate, Voch, even through the hate and like the anti-Falcon stuff and whatnot, I respect Carolina Pimp because he comes out every single time, says the same shit, believes exactly what he believes, comes out, he watches tape just like the rest of us. He has his own opinion. He's got kind of a little bit of a bias, but I mean, I respect it. I mean, he doesn't like me. I kind of have to back up and be like, I have villains that do not like me. That is just how it is.
I can read his comments in the chat box a lot more now that I know he's Carolina Pimp. Oh, as Cody, I wasn't having it. I'm calling my admins. Get him the hell out of here. But yeah, it's
wee woo, call the police.
Yeah, but that's Carolina Pimp. I let him slide. Y'all join my Discord. I'm trying to grow that thing. I'm trying to be a little more active in that. I'm about to be a Twitch streamer next few months. So we'll see. We'll cross that road whenever we get there. Join my Discord, like this video, hit the subscribe button and all that type of stuff. Lieutenant Dan, do you have any closing thoughts? Anything the Draft Illuminati is pissing you off about? Any closing statements about the Senior Bowl before we get up out of here? Just anything?
I don't have anything right off the top of my head because as of right now, we just need more info. I think everybody in the chat will agree that we need more info, and the only way we're going to get that is if we get the Senior Bowl rolling. And that's the 29th, right? The practices start really soon, but the 29th is when we actually have our game. What's that, 9 days away? So
yeah.
It's going to be exciting, man. Make sure you guys like and subscribe over on Unintentional Grounding. Make sure you like this video to all of the grounders who are listening live right now, as well as go visit the Twitch, the Instagram, where we go play some video games and we go show some live stuff. And, of course, UNGR_show on Twitter, where we go do what we do. Hell, it's been fun. Voch, it's awesome. Really appreciate you having a little fun with me here. We're going to be live in the Discord to talk about the game as it's going on.
Sure.
You can check that over there, Unintentional Grounding on Discord. Link is on my page on YouTube as well as my page on Twitter. So, Voch, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to let you know as well. I know you was like everybody in the chat box can agree that we need more time to evaluate. That's a lie. Yeah. That's a lie. Chat box won't answer today. They want to know who the hell going 58 today. I'm like, we don't know. we don't know.
We'll have some film sessions coming out soon.
Yeah, I just dropped Jalen Ferguson like a few minutes before I got this thing started. I know Dan want to watch the game and all that, but my team ain't in. I hope they cancel the damn football. I hope they cancel the league till next year. I'm about to look at O'Shane Zimenez and
Zymes.
His name is
Zymes.
It's not Zymes.
Zymes.
It's not Zymes. It's Zimenez.
Zymes.
It's Zimenez.
Let's fight. We're gonna have a fight. I'm bringing my.
Hey,
you
know,
bring your guns. I'm gonna bring a nuclear bomb. It's Zymes.
You don't get into a gunfight with me. And look, this how I know it's Zimenez, right? Because I'm like, how the hell to say this? And I actually looked for commentators saying his name. It's Zimenez.
Man, I've heard from different commentators though. They said Zymes. Crazy.
Goddamn Illuminati busy at work. All right, whatever. Y'all hold it down for the Doski Woski. Salute to everybody on the Unintentional Grinder page. Salute to everybody that's tuning in to me. Salute to my YouTube wife, Nene Russell. She's in my chat box looking beautiful. Everybody dropping applause emoji from my... Dan, I don't hear you clapping. I don't hear you clapping, Dan, from my wife looking beautiful in the chat box. What's up, babe? Yeah, man, we gone, man. Till next time. Salute. Peace.
Rise up. Stay grounded. Take it easy, guys.